Good evening, everybody. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Friday, November 28th, 2025. It is the day after Thanksgiving. I hope everybody who celebrates had a great Thanksgiving. I worked in the ER. Today I was off and I took the boys over to my mom's house. So we had Thanksgiving over there today. I want to show you an FFO. Carla, you don't have to count this as a finish because I finished this like last year. But my mom turned it into a little pillow. This is Christmas on the Beach. This was a Dimensions Gold Collection Petite. Look at that. So I did all the cross stitching and back stitching. I finished this, I think, last year. And then she turned it into a cute little pillow. So, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So it's going to go sit on my desk full of other pillow finishes that I have. But yeah. So again, Dimensions Gold Collection Petite. This was Christmas on the Beach. That back stitching was such a pain in the butt to do. But super cute. So there's an FFO for you. So yeah. That's Gracie. That's my gills. I don't know if you can hear her purring. Close up. I was trying to see if I could get her to purr into the camera. I don't know if you could hear that though. But anyway, so today's Friday. I said last video that I was going to start filming on Fridays again because football season's over for my kid. So we're back on Friday nights. And that meant that since my last video was this past Sunday, I only had like 5 days to get stuff done. One of the days was a day in the ER, but so I didn't get everything worked on. I only worked on 5 Flosstuber Frenzy pieces. I got part of the stitching done on the last bit of bake off that I got to catch up on. I did get all my temperature stitching done, so that's cool. And I worked on Honeymoon Sunset. I didn't get to Portals. I didn't get to, oh god, I didn't get to my Gridiron Grind either. But I did get a finish. I got to finish. So we'll go over that first. So we'll do Flosstuber Frenzy. So I have 21 Flosstubers I have that I'm following, and I am very behind on my stuff. So I lowered my stitch counts for all the stuff. I talked about that in the last video. So I will tag the Flosstubers below for whose projects that I actually worked on. So I'm not tagging them for no reason whatsoever. But the first one I'm going to show you is for Crow Stitcher for their channel. This is Autumn Favorites. It's by Shannon Christine Designs. And I'm stitching this with the called for DMC 2 strands full cross on a 16 count chalkboard Aida. I started working on it, and then I got to, one little part, and then I was like, oh, let me just do this other part. And then I was like, oh, let me just do this other part. Until I got it done. So I got to finish. Woohoo! Thank you, Crow, for motivating me to get this joker done. So there's my finish. I did 1,040 stitches on it to get it done. So what we'll do is I'll kind of do it like this. It's a little dusty, a little dirty. It's fine. But, so there's the top. There's the middle. And this bottom part. So I filled in the word apple. I did the flowers here, the leaves, the word cider, and this big sunflower right here. Whatever flower that is. I like that word cider. That was fun to do. Gracie, oh my god. I'm so stupid. So, got cat hair on it. It's fine. But yeah. Go me. Oh yeah, that means I gotta get the finishes board so we can write the finish on there. So this will get sent over to my mother to figure out what to do with it. We were talking about my finishes box because she's got some of my other projects to do finishes for. And neither one of us have any ideas on them right now, so I told her don't worry about it. Okay, and then the next one that I worked on is for Dizzy Stitcher. This is Merry Christmas. It's a kit from Artiste. If you really like this, the kit is hard to come by, but I was actually scrolling on the Cooler Designs website, and they have this in a PDF. I saw it today when I was over at my mom's. I'm using everything that came in the kit. It's a 14 count white Aida, and to get caught up on the stitching for his channel, I needed to do 450 stitches, which I did. How do I want to do this? I'll do it like this. So I got the A done and back stitched, and I got started on the S. So this is moving right along. So my plan is going to be to do the S over here and back stitch that, and then once that's done, I'll move over to the Y in the word Mary and work this way. But yeah, I've got 450 stitches on this, so I'm caught up with Darren's channel until he posts another video. I think this might be a shorter video today because I don't have a lot to show. I don't have too much to talk about in plans. This might be a shorter video. Possibly. Also, I'm still very full from Thanksgiving dinner. It's like, whoo. Okay, next up is going to be for DM's Crafty Vortex. Dawn Marie. Her piece is Coffee Break. This is designed by Krista Hamrick. The artwork is by Krista Hamrick, and it's a kit from Design Works. I'm currently in this block right here. I'm using everything that came in the kit, and it's on a 14 count. That was weird how I said that. It's on a 14 count white Aida. 14 count white Aida. And I'm going to show you the block I'm working on first, and then I'll show you the rest of it. So to get caught up with hers, I needed to do 350 stitches. She did post a Flosstube extra yesterday, I think it was. I think it was yesterday. Hang on. Okay, I had to tell my son to shh. Okay, so 14 count white Aida. And I did 350 stitches. So, God, I lost my train of thought. So she did post a Flosstube extra yesterday, I think it was, day before, something like that. So I still owe it 50 stitches because of that, but I had already worked on this. But I'm still working in the Cafe Latte. So as you can see, I have the lines stitched for the words. And I started back stitching them, but I did get more of this cup filled in. I think I may have worked on the border a little bit. I don't remember. You'll see it in the before picture. But I did get more of the cup filled in. So this is coming along nicely. Once this block is done, I will move up to the next row. But yeah, there's that. These are all the blocks I've done so far. Is it 3 or 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. So once I get this block done, I'll be 50% of the way done. So that's cool. Okay, and then the next one I worked on is for In Stitches with Ebony. Her piece is Winter in the Village from Stony Creek Collection. I'm using all the called for DMC, and I'm stitching it 2/2 on a 28 count even weave in the color Summer Sky. I did not get a lot of stitching done on this. And it was like, I filled in, I did some cross stitching, but it was a lot of back stitching. And here we are. So I got the roof and the chimneys stitched in. I stitched a little bit in this roof in the snow over here so that I can back stitch this side of the building once I get to it. But it was mostly back stitching that I did. So it's going to be hard to tell what I've done. But I finished back stitching this window and frame, and I brought the back stitch up this way, and I started back stitching up here as well. So that's going to be my plan of attack, is so that I can get this building completely back stitched before I move on to another section. This is everything I've done on it so far. Okay, and then one more for Flosstuber Frenzy. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, last one for Flosstuber Frenzy is going to be Small Town Stitches. Leanne at Small Town Stitches. Her piece is Hall of the Holiday by Stitchora. I am currently working in this section right here. I'm using the call for DMC, and I'm doing it 2/2 full cross, or half cross if it calls for it, on a 32 count Lugana in the color Chinchilla from Mystic Fabrics. And this is where I got to. I did 353 stitches, but when I update my board, I will just do 350, so I'm not messing too hard with the math. But I did 353 stitches on this. You can see it's a little house starting to come in right there, so it's fun. Really like that pattern. I'll be excited to get more work on it, because it's gonna look so good. All right, that's all I got done for Flosstuber Frenzy. I did lower my stitch counts, and I think that's really gonna help, because that once I'm still debating if I'm gonna carry those stitches. Like right now, I just have this running tally of stitches. I'm debating if I'm going to start fresh at the beginning of the year, or if I'm going to carry them over. I'm still having to think about that one. I don't know. Okay, so next up is going to be, it's not going to be a lot to show. You're probably not going to, yeah, you might be able to tell some. Next up is going to be a Patchwork Quilt Room. This is leftover from Great British Bake Off that I'm still catching up on. This is from, artwork is by Cyril Marchetti, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I got the max color version. It is, I think it's 700 by 4, I'm trying to read it backwards, 490? Yeah, 700 by 490. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm currently in the, nope, where am I? I'm in this area up here. So I needed 400 stitches to get the bake-off stitching done. I only did 200. But I'm doing it with the call for DMC, 2 strands full cross on a 20 count, easy count Aida. And this is where I'm at with it now. So I got the part, I still have part threads down here, but I did get the part threads up here worked in. I do have this one hanging because I needed to stop so I could go to bed. But you can see I did some of the color here. And I decided to make it a little bit more obvious that you could, that I stitched something. But let me tell you where I'm at with it. I am currently sitting at 8,459 stitches completed out of 343,000. I am at 2.47%. Okay, he's so loud. Oh my god. All right, so we're going to move on to temperature stitching. So for my temperature stitching, I ended up having like an extra day because I accidentally started counting Friday, even though I didn't need to. But for temperature stitching, I only had to work on 3 projects. They each got 2 days. So first up for temperatures 1 and 6 was Walking to Town. This is an Old Dimensions kit designed by Fred Swan. I'm using everything that came in the kit, and it's on an 18 count navy Aida. And this needed 200 stitches, and this week I decided that I would work in the tree on the side right over here. So that's where I got to with it. It's looking really good. I need to work these trees in because I think there's just a few stitches that I missed when I was doing the house like many moons ago. So I want to work from here over to see where it's messed up. Because when I was trying to highlight my working copy, I was realizing stuff was just not matching up. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have to figure that out. Or I'll just fill it in with the tree color. I could do that too. Nobody's going to know. You wouldn't have known unless I told you. Okay, and then the next one is Riding the Wave. This, nope, 3 Bird Watchers is for 2 and 7. And this one is another Old Dimensions kit. 3 Bird Watchers. Designed by Martha Edwards. I'm using everything that came in the kit, and it is being stitched on an 18 count ivory Aida. I am currently working in the boring background, which would be the house. The paneling of the house or what have you. And this also needed 200 stitches. I feel like tonight's video is like kind of rushed. Even though I'm not trying to rush it, I feel like it's rushed because I'm just like blowing through these projects. All right, so that's where I got to with it. So I got more of the side over here filled in. And I'll just keep plugging away at that until that's done. All right, and then the final temperature whip is going to be for temperatures 3 and 8. This is Riding the Wave. It's from Creative Accents, designed by Jim Warren. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm using everything that came in the kit, and it's on a 16 count Dove Grey Ada. And this is where I got to with it. So I worked mostly in this, I think I worked all in the sky area. I think I worked a little bit over here. Like, it was all in the sky though, I do know that. Like trying to get this section filled in. But yeah. That's coming along nicely. Honestly, you can see the horses coming in better on camera than you can in person. Like the horse head here and the horse head here. You can see that better in camera than you can in person. I mean, I'm sure you'll be able to see it once I backstitch, because those heads do have some backstitching around, like, around them. But I'm not ready for that yet. Okay, I got one whip left. I got one whip left to show you. Like I said, I mean, granted, it was only 5 days of stitching, so I'm lucky I got what I got done. Okay, final whip is going to be my focus piece for the year. This is Honeymoon Sunset. This is charted by Heaven and Earth. No, what? Honeymoon Sunset, probably because it starts with an H. Honeymoon Sunset, charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is 869 by 649. It has 133 colors. And my goal is to get it to 50% by the end of the year. I have a smaller goal to get it to 49% by the end of November. I'm doing it 2/1 tent stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. This is my final floss tube of November, so I will show you the entire piece. And I am very pleased to say that I hit my percent for the month. So I met my November goal. I did 1,299 stitches. I know one more would have made 1,300, but my thread ended and I was not about to start a new thread just to hit 1,300. And I was tired, so I wasn't going to finish the thread, and I didn't want to leave anything hanging because I'm moving to the other side next time I pull this out. So yeah, 1,299 stitches. I am now sitting at 276,445 stitches completed. Out of 563,981, I am at 49.2.0. Oh man, I messed that up. Now it doesn't sound as good. I am at 49.02%. Almost said 0.20. 49.02%. So that's exciting. So I now have no park threads on the right side. And here is the whole thing. Look at that, 49% done. Ah, what a relief. I'm so close. So next month next month is the big goal to get it to 50%. So I'm going to move over to this side next month, and my first goal is going to be to get rid of these park threads, work them in. And then I'll probably work down maybe the trunk or something. But yeah. I may go ahead and just kind of, these are just like waist threads. I'll probably just clip those just to get them off of there. Look at that. Oh, it's so nice. Love it. Love it. Looks so good. So look at it one more time. it's just hard to show because I got to step back to fit the whole thing. So found this on the floor. I think this is $37.99. Let me toss that back over there because that's a big color in this. But yeah, so I plan on getting these worked in, and then I'll probably just kind of work my way down just to get it to the 50% by the end of the year. And next year, I want to get it to 60%, and I will be focusing on this side of the project. And then what I'll probably end up doing is then maybe work in this bottom area down here to get 70%. I'll just keep kind of rotating through. What I want to do, I do know for sure, I want to end like up in this area in the sky, because while there's still color changes, it's not as confetti heavy as like the flowers. I definitely do not want to end in the flowers because I would die. That would be horrible. So yeah, I want to end in the sky because it won't be as confetti heavy as the rest of it, like as of the flowers and stuff. So yeah, I hit 49%. Woohoo! Big milestone for anyone tracking those. I don't know how many people are actually tracking my milestones who have me in their Flosstuber frenzy. So I worked on, anyone who is tracking these numbers, I worked on 6, 7, 8, 9. I worked on 10 projects. I had no new starts. I had a finish. And I hit the milestone of 49% on this. So that's awesome. So pretty good, but you know, not a lot of stuff, but pretty decent week, I have to say. Okay, let's go ahead. Haven't seen this thing in a while. Let's update my 2025 finishes and add autumn favorites to the list. I have a new Blue's Clues marker that Becky from Becky's Madness for Crafting gave me. Thank you, Becky. Thanks, Becky. Autumn favorites. I wrote that really big. That's okay. But yeah, 13. Now, I will say these two up here, those two technically were 2024 finishes, but I counted them on 2025 because I did them after my whip parade. So I was kind of counting all that stuff. But so really, I've had 11 finishes this year, which is less than I had last year. Last year I had 15 before my whip parade. But that's okay. Making good progress on all my stuff. Okay. Let's go ahead and update these boards. Hopefully I will have remembered to put my little board update man on the screen before I pulled out my finishing board. Okay. So there's a little change to my temperature stitching board. Honeymoon Sunset is now on here. I was trying to get ready for next year, and I went ahead and updated. I have my full coverage Fanatics bingo boards ready to go. But that meant that I had to erase one of my boards. But the only thing I was really tracking on at that point was Honeymoon Sunset anyway. I kind of forgot that I still had bake-off whips that I was working on, and I erased their goals, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and update these. So for temperature stitching, walking to town, I had 600, I did another 200, so this will go up to 800. And my goal is dropping from 400 down to 200. 3 bird watchers, I had 100. I'm adding another 200. And my goal is dropping from 900 down to 700. Riding the wave, I had 100. I'm adding another 200. So, oh, you know what? This should have been 300. My bad. Shit. This will also be 300. Whoopsies, my bad. And my goal is dropping from 900 down to 700. And I only had those 3 projects to work on, so that one's done. Okay, honeymoon sunset. We'll go ahead. Oh, shit. Hang on. I just walked over with my board like this. Okay, honeymoon sunset. I had 63,239 stitches done. I'm adding 1,299. So this is going up to 64,538. My goal is dropping from 6,841 down to 5,542. And my percent complete is increasing from 48.79% to 49.02%. Woohoo! All right. We are almost there, y'all. We are almost there with that 50%. Alrighty. And then we just have one more board to update. That's Flosstuber Frenzy. What did I work on? Autumn favorites for Crow Stitcher. I had 1,300. I did another 1,040. So this is going up to 2,340. I showed it in the last video, but I'll go ahead and show it when I briefly talk about plans, the replacement piece for it. And then Merry Christmas, I had 600. I'm adding another, what did I do? I'm adding another 450. So this is going up to 1,050. Coffee break, I had 1,500 for DM's Crafty Vortex. I'm adding another 350 to this. So this is going up to 1,850. Winter in the Village for In Stitches with Ebony, I had 400. I'm adding another 250, so this is going up to 650 stitches. And Haul of the Holiday for Small Town Stitches, I had 200. I did another 350, so this is going up to 550. Yay! All right. That's it for the board update. Let me pause for a minute, gather a few things together, and we'll talk about plans. I will be right back. Okay, this is going to be a really short video. All right, so let's talk about plans. So temperatures. Temperatures this week, I already did today's because I accidentally included it in last week. So starting with tomorrow, the projected temperatures in Fahrenheit are going to be 78, 84, 82, 78, 72, 72. That goes through Thursday, December the 4th. So what does that mean? That means that 3 bird watchers, this piece here, will get 300. Can you hear me through all this? I got so much in front of my face. This will get 300 stitches. and Riding the Wave. This one here will get 200. That'll get 200 stitches. And again, only working on 3 pieces. And of course, because I have a plan for when they hit their goals and come off the board, now none of them want to meet their goals. Last one is going to be Gift of the Eagle Feather, Dimensions Gold Collection. This one here. This one is only going to get 100 stitches. And this is my starting point with it. Let's see which way was up. This is my starting point with it. So this will get 100. So if you missed it last week, my plan is going to be, as these temperature whips meet their goals, they're not going to get replaced because I want to wrap it up for the year. They'll just come off, and then whatever their numbers are, they will get distributed amongst the ones that have the least amount of progress. So I can try to get all of the stitches done. So, and then Honeymoon Sunset, I showed you already. I'll just be working on getting those part threads worked in and then seeing what else I can do with it. I'm going to try to get to my 6 portals piece. This is from Pain Free Crafts by Rose Catherine Kahn. I need to get 300 stitches on portal number 5, which is this light purple one right here. So that'll be my starting point for that, if I can get to it. I have to work in the ER on Sunday unless we're slow, and then I get canceled, which will suck because of the overtime, but I wouldn't be terribly upset about it. And then Gridiron Grind. I didn't do either one of my Gridiron Grind pieces this week. And when they played on Sunday, they played, my team is, I'm so confused right now. Oh, that's why. Okay. I was trying to look into the future. Today's the 28th. So they played, so my home team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what I'm currently doing is I have a piece assigned to them and a piece assigned to whoever they're playing. And I do 10 stitches per point, 100 extra stitches to the winning team's whip. And then if the score is has a greater than 10-point gap, I do another 100 stitches on the winning team's whip. So of course I'm perpetually behind with that. And on Sunday, the Bucks played the LA Rams and they got their asses handed to them. The Rams scored 34 and the Bucks scored 7. I mean, in a way, I guess it's okay because that was less stitching I had to do on the Bucks whip because I was so far behind with it already. But the Bucks whip is Bathy Scaife. This one is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Josik Yurka. This is a piece I'm doing for my 15-year-old. And this is my starting point with it. I owe this thing 650 stitches plus whatever the Bucks play on Sunday. And then for the away team, that piece is Afternoon Tea. This one is also charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Randall Spangler. I am doing this piece for my 12-year-old. And I was actually, who's hacking up a lung right now, I was actually caught up on his stuff, on this whip. And then they scored, you know, 34. So it was 340. And then because they won, that was 440. And because the score gap was so high, that jumped it up to 540. So I owe this piece 540 stitches plus whatever the away team plays this Sunday. So there's that. I'm going to continue to plug away at my Flosstuber Frenzy. I didn't pull them all out again because I just showed them all last week. I think that's about it. I think because this week is so short, because I switched back to Fridays, I don't know. I just don't really have a lot to say right now. I gotta figure out when I'm going to do my whip parade. I really want to try, I know I normally do it like in the middle of December, but I really wanted to try to get it to as close to the end of the year as I possibly could. I don't know. Oh my God. I do not know. I'll have to figure that one out. But I do know that with my whip parade, I'm going to do one part of my whip parade where I'm showing you guys my whips that I'm using for my actual plans. And then the rest of the whip parade will just be the whips that I'm not using in my plans for like my different games and stuff that I'm doing next year. It's going to be a lot of whips that I'm taking. Obviously, I'm taking all of them with me into 2026. Like, I'm not going to throw them away. But the ones I'm going to be like, okay, I have a plan for this one. This is what I want to do on this one. It's going to be a lot as per usual. I'm going to have 12 whips for Great British Bake Off. Which, again, I'll have a separate video posted for that. I'll probably do it next weekend, I think. I might do it next weekend, maybe. I think I'm working on the 7th. The weekend after that, I'm doing cookies. Yeah, I might try to do my bake-off video. I don't know when I'm going to film it, but I'll probably post it mid-December. That way you guys can, or do you want that video posted earlier in December? So you can plan your whips if you're going to stitch along with me. But I'm going to have 12 whips for Bake Off. I still have the 21 whips for the Flosstuber Frenzy. Oh, you know what? I didn't show you my replacement piece for Crow, even though I showed it last week. Talk amongst yourselves. Hang on. Where is it? Here it is. So for Crow Stitcher, since I finished Autumn Favorites, I had to replace their whip, and it's going to be PSL They're Here from the Witchy Stitcher. I think it goes this way. That's my starting point. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to have the 12 for the Bake Off. I'm going to have 21 for Flosstuber Frenzy. I will have 3 whips for temperature stitching. I'm going to have 6 whips for Whip Go. The 2 whips for Gridiron Grind. 3 full coverage focus pieces. And then I have Full Coverage Fanatics Bingo. And that is going to be 44 full coverage pieces. I think that was all of them. Hang on. I know, I keep getting up and stepping out of the frame. My bad. It's so unprofessional. Unprofessional. Okay. Where's my plans page in this thing? Here it be. So yeah, 3 full coverage focus pieces that'll be out all year. I'm going to have 3 whips for temperatures. Full Coverage Fanatics Bingo will be 44 full coverage whips. My kids' whip go pieces, I'm going to have 6 for that. Bake Off will be 12. Gridiron Grind, the 2 pieces for Gridiron Grind are in my whip go, so it's not 2 separate pieces. Flosstuber Frenzy, I'm going to have 21. Yeah, so that's going to be a lot of whips to carry into the new year. Oh, goodness. But that's not even half of the whips I have, so I don't think. 44 plus 12 is 56, plus 6 is 62. 62 plus 21 is 83, plus the 3 focus is 80, plus the 3 focus, 86, and then the 3 temperature pieces is 89. So yeah, and I have like 220 something, so it's still going to be a crazy ass whip parade. So it'll probably be maybe a 3-parter, because I'll have one part of the whip parade for the plans whips, and then parts 2 and 3 will be for the whips that aren't included in my plans for next year. And I'm already thinking about plans for 2027. Shocker, I know. But yeah, so I think that's it. Sorry for the short video, but if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section down below. And if you like what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below, and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. Oh my god, I cannot talk. So that's all I gotta say about that. Take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.